Seems like every time you turn around, someone is talking about NFTs, non-fungible tokens. Ads show up in your social media feeds. Headlines from major news outlets are telling you about people making millions with NFTs. And as a small business owner or entrepreneur, all of this likely has you pretty intrigued. As it should. You see, right now NFTs are presenting a huge opportunity for business owners, entrepreneurs, artists and more. There are even everyday people who've never made more than the minimum wage in earnings for a day's work who are suddenly pulling down some pretty staggering incomes. Let's take a look at some examples. The NFT selfie collection worth $1 million. Take the example of a young man in Indonesia by the name of Sultan Gustav Al-Ghazali. Between the ages of 18 and 22, Ghazali began taking daily selfies of himself. His original idea was to compile them for a school project by turning them into a video. By then he decided to mint his selfies into NFTs and put them for sale on OpenSea, which is the largest NFT marketplace. He did it as a bit of a joke, as he really didn't expect too much to come of it. He priced his selfies at what was the equivalent of about $3 each, figuring maybe he'd make a few bucks. And then something happened that surprised even him. People started buying his selfies like crazy. Somehow his selfies caught the eye of a celebrity Indonesian chef, who tweeted about Ghazali's NFTs, which is what sparked the wave of sales. Ghazali's $3 selfies were soon going for a minimum of $3,000 each. Ghazali broke $1 million in sales, and people who purchased, and then resold, his selfies were generating huge returns on their investments. The kicker is that there was nothing particularly special about these selfies. They weren't taken in exotic locations. They didn't depict Ghazali doing new and interesting things every day. Instead, Ghazali simply sat at his computer every day, expressionless, and took a selfie. It's this simplicity, and this bit of intrigue as to why someone would take the same type of selfie every day, that helped the Ghazali Everyday Collection break $1 million. Now that's just one story, but there are plenty more that are catching the attention of business owners and entrepreneurs. How musicians are using NFTs to make millions. Those who are interested in music are seeing incredible opportunities surrounding NFTs. It used to be that a band needed to sign on with a major record label in order to distribute their music. If they did it themselves, then they needed to raise the money to make it work, and many musicians found this incredibly difficult, as they're musicians, not fundraisers or marketers. Now take the example of the band, the Kings of Leon. Instead of distributing their music through the traditional routes, they decided to release their album as a collection of NFTs. Each NFT included exclusive artwork, as well as a vinyl album. They also sold 6 golden tickets on auction, which gave the buyer front row seats to specific concerts for life. End result? Kings of Leon raised $2 million in a matter of days. Canadian artist Grimes is another musician who tapped into the power of NFTs. Instead of releasing an album, however, Grimes released artwork. The collection included 10 pieces. Some of the pieces were one-of-a-kind artwork, whereas others in the collection had thousands of copies available. One of the pieces, a short video set to original music, sold for $389,000. In total, Grimes pulled in about $6 million for her digital artwork, which sold out in about 20 minutes on Nifty Gateway, another popular NFT marketplace. Ordinary people making extraordinary money with NFTs. These are just a few of the stories you hear about as you travel around the internet, but they are by no means the only stories. For example, maybe you've seen some of these headlines. An artist by the name of Beeple sells a piece of digital artwork for $69 million through a Christie's auction. The person who created the Nyan Cat meme sold the original meme for $600,000. Jack Dorsey, Twitter CEO, sold his first ever tweet in the form of an NFT for about $2.9 million. Some of the individual pieces from the CryptoPunk collection are going for millions of dollars each. For example, one went for $23 million in February of 2022. The Clock, an NFT which counts how long Julian Assange has been in prison, sold for $52.7 million. These are some of the most popular and staggering examples of how people are making large amounts of money with NFTs. However, if you spend some time in NFT communities, you'll also quickly see that there are a lot of ordinary people making extraordinary amounts of money. For example, you might see the story of a college student who, like many college students, was struggling to pay her tuition and bills. Then she began selling her digital artwork in the form of NFTs, and soon had generated about $60,000 in 6 months. Or take the example of the 36-year-old photographer, Brittany Pierre, who was living paycheck to paycheck. She had about $10 in bank account and was trying to sell hard copy prints of her photographs to survive. Then a friend of hers told her about NFTs. This friend has just made over $17,000 selling a piece of digital art, which intrigued Pierre. So, Pierre jumped in and learned everything she could about NFTs. Soon she started selling her photographs for a few $100s each, which was much more than she is making with the physical copies. She also purchased other artists' NFTs, some of which she resold for a profit. End result? In a relatively short amount of time, Pierre had made $109,000. This money was life-changing for her, as she had never made more than $15 an hour in her life. The money she's making now with NFTs allowed her to fill her fridge with food, get caught up on bills, help out her family, donate to local charities, and buy a Tesla. None of that would have happened without NFTs, according to Pierre. NFTs offer multiple profitable opportunities. Pierre's story isn't particularly unusual. People who knew absolutely nothing about NFTs just months ago are today supporting themselves by selling digital artwork, music, videos, and more. But that's not the only way people are making money with NFTs. Some people are investing in other people's digital artwork and collectible NFTs, and then flipping them for a profit. Take the example I mentioned earlier about Ghazali's $3 selfies. People who purchased and flipped them were turning their $3 investments into a quick $3,000. Again, that's not particularly unusual. When the CryptoPunk characters were first released, they sold for anywhere from $1 to $34 each. Today some of the individual pieces are going for millions. Just imagine investing $34 and turning that into $1 million. Here's something else: some people are making a lot of money with NFTs without ever handling the actual NFT. Instead of investing directly into NFTs, they're investing in companies that are working in the NFT space, such as marketplaces. Business owners and entrepreneurs are also starting to see how to profit from NFTs. Here there is a world of opportunity, such as businesses are raising much-needed capital via NFTs, rather than jumping through the hoops of the traditional banking system. Business owners are purchasing or selling NFTs to build their brands, generate publicity, and grow their businesses. Entrepreneurs and business owners are utilizing NFTs across a wide variety of industries, such as tracking and supply chain logistics, healthcare, real estate, fashion, gaming, and more. And more, businesses are using NFTs in some pretty surprising and profitable ways. More on this in just a moment. Conclusion. As you just discovered, ordinary people are making extraordinary amounts of money with NFTs. Business owners and entrepreneurs are finding plenty of opportunities as well. And no matter what category you fall into, you too can start benefiting and profiting from NFTs. To get started, you need to understand a bit more about how individuals, businesses, and entrepreneurs are using NFTs for profitable purposes. Once you see what all opportunities await you, you'll want to jump into this profitable space too. So, where do you start? You could start by reading absolutely everything you can get your hands on that talks about NFTs, but that's going to be very time-consuming. Most people take at least a month or two of study, with a lot of that time going towards separating the wheat from the chaff. To put it mildly, there's a lot of misinformation floating around the web about NFTs. This link is your introduction to the best ways to profit from NFTs. No hype, no misinformation, no inaccurate content that will have you chasing profits that don't exist. Just good information coming straight from two people who've been doing this a while. See it for yourself at the download link below this video. Thanks for watching.